Well, hello and welcome to Bowtie Life. I am Bowtie David with a bow tie, and we recently repotted some aloe. And I wanted to share with you briefly what I do with aloe to get a medicinal type thing out of my aloe and how I preserve it. And so this is what we have now. If you've seen any of our garden tours, you know that we have some pretty big aloe plants out in the garden. I am not harvesting any leaves from them this year because they really suffered last winter when we had the Christmas freeze. So I'm not touching any of those in the hopes that they will all come back next year. We'll be back at it again. But I do want to show you with these, and these were in pots. They're kind of full. Well, some of these are kind of full. Some of these are not great. I can tell there's juice in there. Some of these are like almost dead because one of these pots of plants, if you didn't see the other video, go back and look at it. One of these pots, sat in the back of my Durango in the sun, in the driveway for 2 weeks while we went on a cruise, and I forgot about it. So it was really suffering, but I watered it a couple days ago, and we just recorded that other video just earlier earlier today. But it's kind of some of them have started to plump up, and I ended up repotting everything. So go back and look at the repotting if you want to find out about repotting aloe. It's very simple, but I do want to show you the cool part of what you can do with aloe. Now, many of you know when you get a burn on the stove, you break off an aloe, you squeeze it a little bit, and you rub that juice on a burn, and it'll make your burn feel good. And you just kind of keep a little piece around and keep it moist. Put it on there, and whatever you're doing, keep it nearby. And this one little piece can last a while. You just keep rubbing it on your burn, and what you do is you just break off a little piece, get a fresh meat, so to speak, and keep it rubbed on whatever. Now, aloe, many of you know that aloe is also really good for your skin. So it makes your skin feel baby soft. It's really cool. Another thing that aloe is good for is bee stings. If you put aloe on a bee sting right after you have it, the swelling can go down a little bit, but the stinger will fall out and you won't have as much pain. However, what I'm about to show you is really miraculous for bee stings and mosquito bites and stuff, because it does a dual purpose that this alone does not do. And I personally think it's cool. Now, the process I'm going to show you here is really simple. It is not complex at all. I am going to show you a second way. I've never done the second way, but it's a piece of equipment we have that I'm going to use to harvest the juice of the aloe. But I've been doing this for a lot of years. I've been harvesting the juice out of these aloes and preserving it in a special way, very simple, for a number of years. And so we've always had aloe around, but what I've always done is, this is just a metal screen mesh sieve. We got at Walmart. There's nothing special about it. Farberware. There's nothing special about it. It's just a real heavy. It's not light, it's heavy, because you're going to see what I will do is I will actually press this aloe into the screen, and it's kind of slow. It's a little bit tedious, to say the least, but you're basically squeezing the juice out of these aloe. And I've got one leaf here. I'm going to do a couple of leaves like this while I talk, but I just sit here and press it in, rub it in, grind it in here, and eventually, now, mind you, this is how I've always done it, and it's doable. We've done it many times, and we end up having a final product from this most of the time. In fact, when we moved here to Florida 6 years ago, it was the first time in a decade that we didn't have any aloe ice. But if I keep pressing this through here, grinding it in, and again, that's why you want a really strong screen mesh. we get to a point, and there's a little bit of slime in here now. It gets real slimy, and eventually you get a drop. Now, these are not very big pieces, so it takes a while. I'm just kind of working it in here, and you need another bowl to put the droppings, the leftover stuff in. But I got a dropout. Wow. Okay, so I know that's very unimpressive, and before I had the big aloe plants, this is all I ever used to do this with, and it was slow. It was very slow. But I just sit here and grind these in to the mesh and get that juice out. Because that juice is what you want. You just want that straight juice. That juice has got the nutrients, it's got the healing, it's got all the good stuff in it. So anyway, you can see we got a string of stuff in here. That's the juice. And you see it's slowly dripping out. And that's how it is. It's very slow. Well, I'm going to try another process, and give me a few minutes to change over here. I'll turn you over to the opening video sequence so that I can get ready for it. This is nasty stuff. It's just part of the deal. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. Okay, so we have here something Mrs. Bowtie and I bought a couple of years ago, or yeah, I think it was it was last year, I believe. But anyway, it's a Cucina Pro Cook to Inspire tomato strainer. It's also called a food mill. This says make smooth tomato puree. Now, the couple over at Living Traditions Homestead are the ones that I saw using this, and I really like them a lot. They do a lot of really practical stuff, things that just make sense to me. And they bought this, and this is not very expensive. It's something cheap you can get on Amazon, they said, well, they got a nice one once, and it broke eventually. This one breaks eventually too, but this is, in the long run, this is a lot cheaper because it was just cheap to buy, and it's a piece of plastic. It's actually a very well engineered piece of plastic. We've processed tomatoes with this, which is what it's for. We've processed pendo dates. We've processed loquats. We've processed a lot of things with this particular piece of equipment. So it's been kind of useful to us. Down inside here, it's got a crank handle, and what it does is it grinds up the juice. The juice comes out here. The goop, the pulp, the leftover stuff comes out here. It does have a suction cup base down here, which is why I have a piece of glass. And this piece of glass, by the way, I found on the street side years ago. I always like having a piece of glass like this around for stuff like this, a nice clean flat surface to do stuff on or whatever. It's just very useful, and someone had left a couple of pieces of glass out by the road, and I grabbed one. Actually, I think I grabbed two, and I think I broke the other one, but I don't remember seeing it recently. But anyway, just a piece of glass. I put a towel down on the table so it doesn't scratch it up. This is Mrs. Bowtie's mom's table, so we like being very careful with that. But anyway, back to this thing. All I'm planning on doing here, and again, if this is a fail, it's an experiment. I'll admit that up front. If this is a fail, it's a fail. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see me do a lot of experimentation and have some failures occasionally. Sometimes things don't work. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these leaves from the aloe and stick them in here. Nothing complex. And as I squeeze them out, you can, whoops, got to have something under there. You can see it's squeezing it. And I don't know if this is how good this is going to do. That's my big question, is how good it's going to do. I know there have been times when I process things twice. I just take them and I stick them back in. And we have a drop. There's not much. I got a big pile here, as you already saw. I'm just breaking off these leaves, shoving them in here. Nothing special. That's a little spring-loaded flap that pushes the matter through the mill. Oh, looky there, looky there. We have produce. Oh, nice. Now it has a little bit more aloe in it than I get with the sifter, but hey, there's a good amount right. Let me, I'm not gonna take that out just yet because it's still dripping, but oh, I'm excited. This is working good. I'm gonna stick that through, see if I can get any more out of it. Not feeling very promising that, oh, I got some in my, got some yuck in my final product bowl. I call it yuck. It's not yuck. It's good aloe. Beautiful stuff. But we can harvest the juices to do something amazing for healing. Well, I'm going to go ahead and process more of this. I'm going to set you on our theme music while I do the rest of this in fast motion, and we'll go to the next step in 2.5 minutes. So we started off with the plants. We ran them through the tomato mill, the food mill. Come out with the pulp. We got the juice out. We strained it through this mesh strainer. You can see there's a lot of stuff came out of there. And ultimately, I thought, hey, I have a very fine mesh strainer that I will run it through. And it's still draining out. You have to kind of coax it a bit by rubbing the debris off the side, but it'll come pretty clean. But this stuff here, This is the magic elixir right here. And now, what you've been waiting for, what to do with this. So while I'm straining out of this fine mesh strainer here, I'll eventually tip it on its side like this and keep brushing away the thick stuff, and you can see it's going down, 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 getting all the rest of that juice out, and it's starting to put all the pulp up here to the side. You can even toss the pulp up, but frankly, this is about 3 times what I thought I would get out of that little pile of aloe. So once you get as much juice as you want out of here, here comes the magic. You ready? Let me sit down here and tell you what I think the magic is. And I saw this on Facebook years and years ago. Years ago. I mean, we've been doing this for around 15 years, maybe 14 years, because I got that last batch of aloe early on in our stay in Arkansas, which was about 16 years ago when we moved there. And I grew aloe for a couple years, so 14, maybe 13 or 14 years I've been doing this. And the product we're about to get that is extremely useful around the house. Anybody, and here's, it's easy. I mean, I haven't done much. I got to tell you, that food mill, that was a success. And especially when I picked up the scissors and started slicing up the leaves, it got clogged up a lot less. I ran it through 2 or 3 times. The second time was a definite. Third time is actually pretty good. There's going to be a law of diminishing returns, though, on how many times you run it through there. But I'm ecstatic. So here's the magic thing that everybody has to preserve this juice with. Recognize this? Some of you may not have them anymore because you got an ice maker in your fridge. Well, this is an ice tray. And if you got 1 ice tray left over, that's all you really need. We've got 3 of them. I have done as much as 1 ice tray of this in the past. So I've never had a lot, but we've never needed a lot. This is a nice medicine to keep in the freezer and in case you have need of it. And what I do is I literally just pour this in. Ooh, I'm making a mess. Ha ha ha. Glad Miss Bowtie isn't here to supervise, right? No one call Mrs. Bowtie. But I filled that up and I'm just going to tip it until there's actually more in here than I normally put. So this is going in the freezer. That's it. This is just going in the freezer and it's going to become aloe ice. And it's ice, pure aloe. No, I didn't add water. I didn't add anything to this. It is just aloe. That's it. And the food processor, I got to tell you, that was about 20 times faster than I've done in the past. So I'm very excited about the food processor. This is a new use for a tool that we have purchased. But anyway, let me go stick this in the freezer, and through the magic of movie making, we will look at the final product. Okay, you ready? Check it out. Now this, I know, movie magic. This was our aloe ice this is 2023. This was from August of 19. So this is 4 years old. We don't use it a lot, but boy, when we need it, it is wonderful to have. So what it is, if I can get it out, is simply ice cubes. And you can see there's an ice cube right there. It is pure aloe juice because this jar has been sealed up. All this frost is pure aloe frost. And what you do, and this is the neat part. Actually, it looks like there's only 3 ice cubes left. 2 stuck together here. Nope, 2 ice cubes left from 4 years ago. But what you do, if you have a mosquito bite, You take 1 ice cube and just melt it over it. Get yourself a towel, a rag towel or something, and then just melt it over it. If you have a bad time with mosquito bites, the mosquito bite will be gone. If you have a burn, of course, and this is, what we're most familiar with aloe, is you take an ice cube and you rub it on and melt it, let it melt on your burn. And the burn will be healed in amazing time, all through completely natural processes. Last one, bee stings, wasp sting, whatever else. If you have trouble with a bee sting, and okay, I'm out in the yard, I got bees out here, we have problems occasionally, and we need help, or I need help, because I'm the one that normally gets the bite, except for poor little neighbor next door. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. You have to go back and look at that video. But what you do for a bee sting, wasp sting, you take one of these, let it melt completely on it all the way till it's gone. Take a second one, let the second one melt completely on it until it's gone. By the time you melt 2 ice cubes, for most people, number 1, the swelling will be gone. Number 2, the stinger will be out. Number 3, it will not hurt anymore. How cool is that? And it really works. I've had stings everywhere between my toes, on my head, on my arms, on my legs, everywhere. And 2 ice cubes, it's all it's ever taken. Now, if you have extra challenges with them, now I'm not saying allergic to where it'll swell up your windpipe, and so that you need to take care of the proper way. I'm not going to claim this is going to heal that, of course, but short of that, if you get a big swelling or whatever, I've heard somewhere 3 ice cubes. You might need a 3rd ice cube. I don't know. But for me, 2 ice cubes, stinger gone, swelling gone, pain gone. All there is left is just a red spot. That's it. So anyway, this is what I think of as the magic of aloe. It is amazing. I love aloe. I am going to be changing from a jar to a Ziploc bag, I believe. It's hard. You saw it's kind of hard to get them out of here, but I want to be able to have it in a Ziploc bag, and we'll lay it in the deep freeze and have it available for us when we need it. So aloe ice. I hope that you got some inspiration from that. I'd never used the food processor for that before. That was cool. 20 times faster at least. It went fast, and we got a lot more out of it than I think I've ever gotten. So I might be more apt to be giving a gift away of aloe ice for people. I know my neighbor over here, he occasionally gets stung by my bees, not in a long time, but we had, when we first got our bees, they were very large and hyperactive hive, and he got stung a few times, but I might bring one over to him. He's not allergic, but anyway, I say a bag of this over to him for future use. But anyway, aloe ice, it is awesome. I love this stuff. This will change your bee stinging experience. It will change your mosquito experience. It'll change your burn experience. It feels wonderful. So let me go put this back up and we'll close up. So there you go. The magic of aloe and harnessing its healing properties and storing it for later use. Aloe ice. To me, I just love that stuff. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We have a lot of people watching our channel that haven't subscribed yet. I'd love for you to stick around for all the stuff that we have planned coming up. We release a new video most days, though we're in the middle of September. I have a feeling that the rest of September is going to be every day for a while. Those of you who are subscribed, you guys are heroes. Thank you very much. And for watching this video, thank you for watching the video. It helps grow the community, not only of Bowtie Life, but of all the homesteading and gardening community. It shows that we are rising and we're becoming a greater force on the internet, and that anyone can learn to garden. And I firmly believe that. So anyway, that's our information on aloe for now. We have some larger aloe out in the garden that we're going to be doing stuff with next year, probably very similar to this stuff here. But if you thought this was inspirational, educational, informational, or just entertaining, watching me play with goop, it was goopy, then please click the thumbs up on this video and share it on your social media with your friends who might also find this helpful. Do you know someone that has a lot of aloe sitting around? Yeah, this is how you do it. And maybe they'll make you some aloe ice for next time you get a bee sting or burned on the stove or wherever. So it's excellent stuff. It's great. It's very useful, handy to have around. And the best part about it is it's simple. This is very simple to make. If you don't have a food mill, you can press it through. And one thing I did forget about the pressing through, I forgot I used to use a big spoon, which really was a lot easier on the fingers to press that stuff through the mesh sieve when I did it that way. But I'm using the food mill from now on. That's a given. That was so much better, so much easier. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Hope you found it helpful. Have a blessed day.